got some presentation like, but actually I will focus on hands-on lab. I will show you what I configure. And in this presentation, I will show you what I actually do. And also, I have prepared several empty virtual machines. So I will create everything from scratch. Possibly something will go wrong, as usually, yeah. So good presentation cannot be successful from the first time, as usual. So let me introduce myself just a little bit. My name is Pierre, and I'm playing with security, say, for some years. Yeah, and I think that trend that ransomware goes through all the user machines is very interesting, because you can easily protect your PCs. This is very simple from my point of view, but users still got infected. And okay, if it's about end users, like home users, but it's not okay when you talk about enterprise. This is really not okay, because protecting from malware is very simple, and I want to share my knowledge. Also, this is gonna be like dialogue. Let me communicate with you. I want to hear from you something about your experience. Okay, say we're gonna talk about application whitelisting. What's your experience? Do you have some experience on whitelisting? Anything? No, have never heard. Brilliant. Okay, have you ever heard of malware? Of course, ransomware. What's the key difference of ransomware? It wants money. That's first. Second, it runs with limited user privileges. Yeah. And the third, say you cannot provide the adequate security with traditional tools like antiviruses. If this would work, the ransomware would be stopped for ages. So basically, let me explain what we're going to do. This agenda is a little bit short, so I will explain just a little bit more. I would like to explain the concept. What is it about? Because this is very simple. You can do it yourself. No money required. Just simply click, and everything runs. I will discuss common challenges because, you see, application whitelisting, in particular in Windows, exists more than 10 years, like since Windows XP, and you still not using it because this is challenging, probably. So we will discuss those challenges, and then I will demonstrate you how to configure those policies in enterprise and Active Directory, and also I will share my framework of implementation, because just simply enabling policy doesn't solve anything, and you need some good framework, how to configure this and this, what challenges and so on. And I would love some questions from you as well, of course, definitely, okay? Ransomware execution scenario, really serious, okay. I haven't sorted the USB disk in my PC, and let me check if I'm ready to execute it. Yeah, file and extensions are enabled, if you see. Yeah. Okay, let's check my USB stick. Okay, this is very simple. You'll probably see a few documents on my USB disk. Not anything special. Word documents. Yeah. Something in Latin, something in Russian, and something in English. Let me repeat. Yeah. You see this document. I double click it, and it's done. And the file is gone. Have you ever seen something like that? No? You're lucky. Okay, let's explain a little bit else. Do you see anything interesting about this. Is there application? Yes, that's application. Your users will never recognize that this is application because it's very good application. File extensions are enabled. So how it's done? This is a completely different story. This is part of hacking course. But it's not about that. It's about how easily you got fooled, and it's not a problem for hacker to execute this. It's not like invoice PDFXZ, because you recognize XZ, right? In this scenario, you don't see any XZ, but it exists. Do you like it? I like it very much. It exists, but somewhere in the middle. Okay, this is just a game with Unicode characters. If you want some details, let me show you like how I see it from another program. Now you see, yeah, this is completely different story because I'm playing with Unicode. But anyway, the transport can be anything. USB stick, email, attachment, of course, and link to some website, Skype, everything else. And you will see just doc. That's it. So I want to emphasize that even being an IT guy, you cannot recognize. What about users? Users will never recognize. They will open it, and they do. Actually, they do it. And that's not even it. You probably saw some epidemic of doc viruses. So you open the document with macro, and this macro drops the executable and executes it. So this is a different story, but again. And yeah, the key thing that antiviruses will detect this anyway. Well, what does antivirus do? What the virus is, what malware is, it's a piece of executable. Is it any voodoo magic? No, it's executable. Well, what's the purpose of antivirus? To prevent malicious executables. It analyzes the executable in some way, and in case it finds it strange or bad, it blocks it. So antivirus is the method of blocking executables. This is first thing. The application whitelisting is a completely different story. It also is designed to block executables. But another concept, everything is protected, just everything. And to execute anything, you need to permit it first. You need to assign this executable as good as positive, and you'll be able to launch it. But both technologies are designed to prevent malicious software from running, both antivirus and whitelisting. But whitelisting is a completely different story. It just blocks everything. You can compare this with, say, firewalls. You know that you can build up the firewall based on blacklisting and whitelisting. Blacklisting, when you block some particular protocols, ports, is it effective? Maybe for known threats, yeah. For unknown threats, no anyway. The whitelisted firewall blocks everything with some exceptions. Say, firewall permits you to sort of to read your email, maybe to perform remote bastard connection, that's it. And this is effective. I will not repeat this. You can read it yourself, yeah. Actually, a surprising number of administrators consider antivirus is the primary security measure. In fact, there are 4 essential tools that prevent malware. First, I'd say limited user privileges. This is very important. And this is the very first thing I begin with in new company. when you come to some company and to redesign its security, the first I look at privileges. And in case someone works with administrative privileges, you need to prove that this is necessary. So I base my security on that. So no one ever has any privileges on any resource. It's not your computer, it's company computer, okay? It's not your resource, it's company resource. So you don't need no administrative privileges, except with exception. So IT support guys receive 2 user accounts, and they are forced to work with limited user account and use administrative account only when this is necessary. This is just a beginning. Of course, it's not about whitelisting, but this is a good beginning, and you can begin this. So another example of policy is like, I look at how people work with USB sticks. Like IT support guys are prohibited using USB at all. Okay, how will we work? Okay, you want to distribute software, use System Center. No System Center, put it on SUS, Windows Server Update Services. Okay, you just simply organize some centralized distribution point as a share and execute software from this share. But you will not download everything and put on USB disk or on user PCs and so on. This is not about whitelisting. This is an example. Oh yes, this is some part of whitelisting. Like when I organize the distribution share, I'm telling them, sorry, you're not permitted to install everything you want. Anything you want to install must be put on distribution share first, must be approved, and then we will talk about this. Okay? So basically, security is some complex of measures, and limited privileges is essential tool number 1. The essential tool number 2 may be this application whitelisting. So the users simply cannot launch anything they want to download and execute. I will show you a little later what do they do with your PCs. You never know. And the third part of security is updates. You need to update your systems and keep they updated. You know why? Because of different type of exploits. Because no technology, like say the same application whitelisting, can prevent exploits from launched. So this is such a thing. So yeah, that works. Okay. So the key difference between blacklisting and whitelisting is that blacklisting considers everything is to be good until you find something bad. And that's why antiviruses are unsuccessful. I'm watching this technology for some 20 years. I'm just an end user for such things. I'm not antivirus designer, I'm not the developer. Yeah? But as long as I see it for 20 years, antiviruses cannot block all the viruses around. And malware only grows in size each and every year. So mostly such measures prevent only known threats. That's it. So whitelisting, it's not ideal again. It's not 100% secure. Just for you to understand, it's not 100% secure. No. Even worse, it's not security boundary. And the same Windows. What's security boundary? When you can build the border and say, yeah, this is restricted area. The security boundary is like user privileges. Administrator for system and normal user are split by security boundaries. That's it. User can control is a security boundary. No. Because this, and yes, you can Google on Mark Rusinovich words about it. UAC is not security boundary. steal administrators. Like UAC is designed to remove admin privileges, admin seed from user token. But user easily clicks and it works. Another side of story is how it works from inside. And say, for instance, when we perform ethical hacking training, we execute an appropriate Metasploit module, which is elevated to administrator very quickly. So it's not security bounded, that's it. Application whitelisting is not security bounded as well. But it works really good against malware, and you will see how. This is quite simple example of how to configure policies. And you see in this example, you can configure a few paths, like C Windows is allowed for launching everything from this folder. C program files is permitted to launch everything from this folder. You can list some certificates, like for instance, everything from Microsoft. Let's consider it's not malware. Okay, maybe something is not good, so like something is unwanted, maybe some tools. But for instance, user downloads some Google Chrome and tries to execute it. Portable. Or user downloads TeamViewer portable as well and tries to execute it. Is it malware? No, it's not. It's not. But this can be unwanted software on your PC. So by allowing something by certificate, like everything from Google, you still reduce the risks very well, because I guess there is no malware that is signed with Google certificate yet. We will see in the future. And also hashes. You can take some executable, calculate hash. It's not hard to just double click it, and hash is calculated by policy. And this software will run while it has the same hash. So if you infect this executable with something bad, so it won't run anymore because hash will change. Again, as simple. And say if you have some line of business application that's located on file server, you just add to the policy this application and you can work. So you need to understand what whitelisting is and what it's not. Yes, it prevents applications from being launched. Yes. But it doesn't stop you from saving wires to disk. It's not a storage system. Right? It only filters executing applications. If you download the wires and just bring the wires with USB stick, okay, it exists on your stick and that's it. You cannot launch it. Let me show you with this example. Let me enable my protection back again. I have disabled it previously, and let me launch this executable once. This is completely different story. This virus is kept in my USB stick. You cannot launch it anymore. It's blocked. Okay. So it prevents some modules from being launched from user profile. Like when malware is dropped to user temp folder from that macro, and macro tries to execute it, it will fail. I will show you the results of this test. But the script, the macro will work because it's part of Excel document, which is not executable. So if you have some scripting system like macros like in Excel, AutoCAD, Corel or something, scripts can run. Yeah, but it's not executable. So application whitelisting as default is limited to some case we have some buffer overflow in some system module, it cannot prevent it. Because this is not memory whitelisting. This is application whitelisting. There are also technologies that allow you to inject DLL from the web right into memory. This technology also will be installed because this is not memory whitelisting. This is only application whitelisting. So you double-click application malware, double-click malware, it will not work. You insert some USB stick or you open an attachment for email with JavaScript. You only from yes. But it does not prevent exploits. Really important thing, as I previously told you, it allows you to launch any previously approved software. Nothing stops you to approve from approving a virus. If you want it, you approve it, and you're done. So this is about how systems administrators work. If you will approve this application, this virus is going to work. Sorry. This is like user receives a warning from antivirus, and then he stops antivirus because the antivirus prevents him from running this executable because he wants to. Okay, you're affected. And one more thing, it prevents unwanted software and malware, but it doesn't stop you from downloading. This is it. But I do not want to tell you that this is really bad technology. No, it's not. So it's very effective. You just need to know and understand all the limitations. For me, and not even for me, this is the prevention measure number one. For others, maybe something else. Yeah, you have your own experience. That's it. It works for all the companies I have managed. Let's say few companies with hundreds of PCs, two companies currently with 1,000 of PCs, and currently some company of 3,000 PCs has bought this solution as a framework and is implementing it. They're really happy. And also a lot of people who have implemented it are really happy. One presentation in Bratislava, one of attendees came to me and told he has enabled AppLocker for 40,000 PCs and he's really happy. So this is like that. So about implementation challenges, and I think most of them are not technical. Okay. Let me execute like this. Which slide? Yeah. I like when it does like that. Okay. So first challenge is cultural readiness. When I came to company and say, okay, IT support guys, I like you very much, but you are not administrators anymore. This is cultural shock. I'm serious. They got seriously shocked. Because it's even worse. I removed their privileges to their computers. So they can be administrators for everyone else, but not for their computers. They are not permitted to play with their working tools, their PCs. If you want to install something, I will do it. From System Center or manual or something, but this is cultural shock. Anyway, so most of them have worked all the time with administrative privileges, and that's it. This is shocking even for home users. Like, for instance, I never work with local administrative privileges for almost 20 years for my PC, beginning Windows NT 3. Yes, I log on as administrator only when it is required to perform update or install something. And say my current typical configuration for home PC is like my user account with empty password, limited user account with empty password. I click on my user account, I log on. My wife, the same, separate account with empty password. Kids also, separate account with empty password and protected administrator. And this is the way we run all PCs, and it works for a long time. But this is a big cultural shift, not even shock, shift for everyone who works like that, who have never worked with limited privileges. Well, this is, I understand this is why Microsoft has decided to implement UAC. Because what else can you do with users who do not want to work as limited user account? Right. So another cultural readiness is like management engagement. Say, if you come to company and establish your own rules, everyone will be unhappy. And they will come to management and tell, there is someone who who prevents us from working. He doesn't allow us to install the required programs and to manage our computers. He prevents IT support from working. And also other users who used to install something. This is very common, like user comes to a company, new lawyer comes to law department. First thing, he has tried to install the different browser in 10 minutes after he has received the PC. I have registered this event, and this was really funny. So I came to him in the next 10 minutes and asked him what the problem is. You came to the company, you have received your working tool, and now you are reconfiguring this tool like you are a master of this PC. But it's not like that. So many companies do not limit users from installing or launching applications as they wish. So this is the cultural shift. But again, what is the virus? Is it black magic? Is it voodoo magic? No, it's software. This is the software. So that's why we are limiting the software from being launched. And management must support you for all the cycle of implementation. It cannot be like, okay, you do what you want. Okay, and then someone comes to management like, he's preventing us from doing our business. And the general manager will come to you and tell you, oh, sorry, you need to stop it. Please allow people to work, to allow what they do. And that's the story. So the management must recognize this application whitelisting as a core requirement for the system, as mission critical. So, yeah, another issue, when users, okay, they accept that they are not permitted to install something manually, but they will come to you with requests like, I want this browser because I want it. I want this software, say some virtual desktops, because I want it, because I like it and it helps me. Be ready for that, there will be disgruntled users and they're going to be unhappy with it, but it's like that. So when users find something useful or convenient, you need to deal with this issue, and this is also cultural ingredients of the company. And the last but very important thing, this is the sometimes accept what you're doing, but then they come to their PCs and continue working as usual. So if you need to establish some discipline level for a team, how would you do this? Completely different story. But this is like that. Because it's very typical for my companies, say, when users are blocked for everything, they cannot download anything, some malware, or install it or launch it. But IT guys are unlimited. So IT guys are the most dangerous users of the system. Actually, that's it. And the domain administrator is the most dangerous. Process readiness is another challenge. You need to maintain some list of a lot of permitted software, and it's not like simply a list and that's it. You always will have some exclusions, requests for something new, or to update something. Even like if you permit some software version 1, you will need to update this list of software version 2, version 3, and to perform upgrade in some way. But again, you need to have some reasonably accurate software inventory. What's allowed, what's not, and trusted people, of course, who manage this list. By this, you need also some procedure for accepting the software, for permitting the software. Say, while I am traveling at the moment, there is someone in that company I'm working for who is accepting and reviewing this list and allowing software. There is someone. How will he perform his tasks? I don't know. This is question. So you also need to understand how your network works. Like currently, I'm working for a pharmaceutical company, and a lot of processes are mission critical. Like we have biological reactors that are controlled by computers. And when they say like, okay, do not touch our reactors because if you block something and something will go wrong, the reactor may explode. This is true. So you need to know your processes. You need to understand what happens and how it happens. And say, if you cannot manage it, guess your implementation will not be successful. But this depends on what you consider successful. From my point of view, if you cover with this policy some 95% of PCs, you're successful. But again, how much is 95%? Like you have one PCs, yeah. Okay, you cover 95%, it's 950. So 50 PCs are uncovered in this policy. Is it good or bad? It depends. Say, if you previously have never had this policy in place, this is great success. If you consider that every single PC must be protected, this is not as successful. So the next process readiness part is deployment and application distribution. Okay, we consider that this, say, particular software is required for our PCs. How would you distribute the software? Considering whitelisting, of course. Because it's not as easy when someone comes to this PC, tries to install the software by clicking, he's prevented from installing by whitelisting. So in case you have some system center configuration manager or SUS in place, this is the idea to even startup script. Just to have some processes. And also, say, application distributing framework is required, may be required to implement whitelisting itself. So, say, how do we update our PCs accept patches automatically from Windows Update for the first wave of PCs. And this first wave are IT guys and few servers. After 10 days, we check if everything is okay. After 10 days, I accept those patches, monthly patches, for the next second wave of PCs, like 200. In 10 more days, if everything is okay, I accept and approve on the server, approve those updates for all the remaining company. And this is framework. So you need some ability and of course experience of deploying some solutions step by step, department by department, company by company, and the possibility to roll back changes if it is required. It was like, say, a bad update for Microsoft Outlook, which hides the folder pane. We have discovered this considerably quickly, and I was asked to remove this update. I went to SOS and revoked this update, and in an hour, all the PCs, all the affected PCs, was rebooted without this update. This is an example. And of course, clear communication channel between user support and project managers. Say, when I have implemented this technology for our local ISP, I was completely foreign technician. I have never had administrative privileges to any PC. I have just one GPO, and I configure this policy, and I have task group of PCs. They report me, and also I can configure something in this policy, and that's it. But in case any issue, users contact IT support guys, and they need to contact back me. In most cases, they just simply use my manual. I have established some set of instructions what to do. Let me show you maybe, because these can be important part of it. No. Let me check if I have this document in place. Somewhere I have this document somewhere. Just a minute. Maybe I will see. Not in this place. Okay. I just forgot to prepare. Yes, I know where it is. Just for instance, this is application whitelisting support guide for IT guys, where they can read something about this technology, how it works, only one page, how it works, what it affects, what it doesn't affect. Like, for instance, in this manual, I'm telling them that it doesn't affect Excel Word documents. And in case any issue with Excel Word, they know that this is not about application whitelisting. It doesn't affect email messages. It doesn't affect internet surfing. It doesn't affect SQL actions or file copying operations. It just affects executing of something. It doesn't affect permissions or system user account. That's it. And then indications of issue. Say when a user calls you that something is not working, read through indications of policy. Is blocking anything. And then what to do next? Well, which log file to check and what to do next. You will receive an email if something is blocked. Response for notifications. Sometimes you just ignore this message, sometimes you update the policy, sometimes you restore install the software, sometimes you contact me. But this is procedural readiness, and I'm ready to communicate with IT support, and they have their instructions what to do, how to disable the policy. The same icons you just saw on my PC, yeah? How to disable the policy, and how to maintain those PCs in the future. This is some simple document, but it helps a lot. Okay? So the next problem, issue, or readiness question is technical readiness. This is the last. So you see, most of issues are not technical. The technical readiness is like if you have the skilled IT professional. This is very typical for me. Like I am configuring this policy, and then everything, just simply everything, is forwarded to me. Like you have blocked everything, now you go and deal with users. This is your problem, probably. So IT support guys just simply do not want to listen, do not want to read, do not want to examine the issue for anything new. They just simply forward those requests to me. And in case they need to maintain this PC, we will do this. This is your fantasy. This is your will. So you go and patch this PC. This is very typical. So you need to deal with this issue. Really big issue can be auditing. Say I'm ready to implement whitelisting for considerable big audits. Okay, do I really know everything about all the processes? Yes, no. So first of all, I'm configuring auditing for running processes. I write each and every DLL, each and every executable to the separate log file. And then I will analyze this log file for something interesting, for something non-default, like something outside program files, something outside Windows folder. And then I will see if I am ready to implement whitelisting. I will see if I am ready to work with this PC in general. And now I'm not afraid of biological reactors, because I'm logging everything, every single executable, every single DLL. And now I'm able to tell precisely what day it was, what time it was, and who was it, who has launched this executable, because of excessive logging. So you need some considerable auditing, considerable long auditing, to tell precisely, yeah, this is it. For some cases, it's not necessary. Like when we have equipped one university with 1,000 of PCs with this group policy, it was as simple, because we have tuned one PC and all other PCs, or like student PCs, all PCs were equal. Not a problem. So you just implement this policy for all the company in 3 days, and it works. For me, typically, it is several months for 1,000 PCs. But this depends on how big departments are. If some typical department is 100 PCs, you can do it in a week, maybe. But again, I'm enabled auditing, and then I come back in 2 months to continue. But it's not like I'm working hard for 2 months. No, I'm just collecting logs, and then put them on SQL, and then query the SQL, and that's it. But you need some auditing system. Also, the big question is supported operating systems, like, for instance, you want to implement AppLocker. What operating systems support AppLocker? Windows Vista now. Windows 7, which one? Enterprise. Windows 8, Enterprise. Windows 10, Enterprise. And many companies I'm working for do not have enterprise agreement because it's expensive. They consider their PC life cycle not 3 years, and not even 6 years. Maybe some 9 years is very typical. This is why. And say they buy some OEM professional, that's it. So app locker cannot be delivered to such machines. I also have some companies with XP because the same, the life cycle. So their life cycle is like that. You see some 100 of Windows XPs, yeah, and that's it. So I am unable to implement app locker. I need to go with software restriction policies. But this is good. I just understand the reason why it happens like that. And of course, additional licensing costs may require. Like I told you that I'm putting this, I'm putting logs to SQL and then analyze. I'm not doing it with my hands, like I'm not executing queries from SQL Management Studio. I bought some software for this. Additional software may solve you some issues with auditing, with deployments, everything, with reporting, but you need to keep balance between manageability and features and the price. There are a lot of third-party tools that enable you to quickly implement whitelisting. They have considerable licensing costs. But this depends. Say, my personal point of view is that if you have enabled whitelisting, you do not need an antivirus. But this is big question. This is like that. Being, say, certified hacker, I know that this is not true. You still need an antivirus to reduce risks. You still need it, especially with centralized reporting. This is a good idea. Sometimes antivirus is the core requirement from like PCI DSS, for instance. Yeah. You need to have some antivirus installed. That's it. Well, so additional licensing costs. This is a good question. Now let me configure whitelisting for a single PC. You will see that this is not as hard, and you will see how to configure it in a domain. Let me show you some impact of configuring on a single PC. For this, let me take some Windows 8, no. I have a bunch of operating systems here for you to understand that this policy works for everything. Okay, so Windows 7, I like it more. Edit and C. And under Windows settings, security settings, let me magnify this, right? Security settings, software installation policies. The policy is not defined at the moment, so let me define this policy. Consider this is some home PC. Security levels. Everything is unrestricted by default. Let me disallow everything. Set as default. Yes. Now everything is prohibited. Additional rules. I will do it in a little bit different way. New path. C Windows is unrestricted. Why that? Because only administrators have permissions to write on this folder. Okay, this is not true. Okay, C program files, unrestricted. And let it be like C program files, one more, x86, unrestricted. You have some business applications or with exception of DLLs. I like all applications because I will show you some example of virus that is spread as DLL. It calls run DLL32 from Windows folder with the switch off this DLL name. Do I want to block all users or all except administrators? This is a good question. Say you're implementing the policy for the first time in a big company, and possibly your junior administrators do not understand what's that. So possibly you want to select this one, and normal users will be limited. That's okay, will be protected. But not administrators. So when your IT support guy, when he works as normal user, he's protected. When he wants to install something, he's unprotected and can do anything. Okay, in this case I will do it like that, because you are advanced, you are not novices, aren't you? Are you novices? A little bit. Okay, so and these identity file types, I will review this list. What's filtered? I do not like L and K, it's just a shortcut, nothing more. And now let me reboot the PC for the first time. No, the software restriction policies work on professional and public. So ultimately,
Just local.
yeah, just local in this case, for you to see that this is configurable in a few clicks. Now, how would I copy an executable with the PC? Oh yeah, I have a few viruses on my USB disk. Okay, let me enable drag and drop. Let me copy this wire to this PC. Let me double click it, it's blocked. That's good. Let me execute some standard program like remote desktop connection, it works. Like calculator, it works. And everything from Windows folder and the program files folder will work. So when users will try to execute some attachment, executable, not document, but executable, they got blocked. And they will see the message stating that the executable got blocked, and you will see something in event log. Event viewer, Windows logs application. You see the warning from software restriction policy that something is blocked. This is like that. Executable as blocked. And this is good. Another question, what do I do when I want to install something? When we talk about single PC, I need to choose between that policy when administrators are not limited. This is a very simple option. And you can continue running your PC. Like when you want to install something, log on as administrator, just simply install and continue working. For me, I have chosen some hard way of doing it. So let me open the registry editor, local machine. Okay, let me magnify this window. Okay, it's going to be local machine, software policies, Microsoft Windows Safer. This technology is called Safer, and this technology, in fact, is enabled even if you don't know it. But it's enabled in blacklisting mode. It prevents some known threats in Internet Explorer sometimes. So, but now this policy is empty. I have few paths, few hashes. I will export this registry key. Save my desktop. It's okay. No? Oh. Desktop. Yeah. And now I can manage this registry key. You will not allow me to open it. Also understand why it's not security boundary, yeah? Because someone with privileges can import and export this file and analyze, let me rename it, sorry. Use folder options, view extensions. It's not txt, it's not txt, it's reg. But you need some privileges to do this, in particular local administrative privileges. Now let me show you how it works. Okay, it won't work like that. I will copy to the C Windows. Why C Windows? Because this is trusted folder. C Windows. And instead of this, I will create a few shortcuts. Shortcut. Shortcut. Now I'm disabling the policy and my wires gonna work. Now I'm enabling this policy and wires doesn't work anymore. This is very simple for a single machine if you want to protect administrators. If you choose to protect only users, you don't need to play with this. Because I love it in a hard way. Okay? So for single machine, this is simple. Maybe I will add some more policy, GP edit MSC. I will add some policy in administrative tools, Windows settings, group policy, no, not Windows components in system. Group policy, and this is going to be registry policy processing. I will enforce this policy during every GP update. So in case I will disable some policy, this policy, and we'll forget about this, and it will be on back in 1 hour. You remember how frequently GP update is performed? 90 plus minus 20 minutes, yeah. So this is like that. On the main controller is 5 minutes, so I reconfigure on the ECs for 1 hour. And this is okay. So for single PC, this is really good. And this physical machine I'm using as hacking machine. So when I need to run something special, I disable the policy. But most of programs work like key enable, not a problem. I can scan your network and use security, or say Metasploit is added to path. So I'm simply launching this. Let me show you my local policy, GP edit MSC, on the physical machine. No, substitution, additional rules. Well, C Metasploit to execute my line of business application. WebEx, for Cisco WebEx, you know what was that? Yeah. And also WebEx certificate. Okay. The games, because I like playing games, you know, why not? This is GoToMeeting. This is such an interesting formula, yeah. Because they do not provide good any other good option. They drop random DLLs on the 10, and every time this is new path and no certificate on this DLL and no single hash, just random DLLs. But this is a possible option. And this one is allowed is CTB locker ransomware. I have disallowed it because I like playing with ransomware, and sometimes, you know, something happens. So not to encrypt my own documents, I just simply disallow it. So basically, what does this registry key do? It switches between unrestricted mode and disallowed mode. So everything that is disallowed still disallowed. And so in case any software will stop running, okay, I will see either some message or a record in event log, and I will add this software to my list, and I will continue running. For a single machine, for the main, this can be a little bit more complex. So if you want some break, or we still have some time to break, yes, we can continue. Okay. So if you want to ask some questions with a bit, I'm not selling anything. No. But this is material from National Security Agency, American government. I'm not a government agent as well, but I have printed out this material for you to remember what application whitelisting is. This is a prospect of something. What is application whitelisting? So if you want, you can take it. Maybe you have some questions. Maybe you have some experience with this.
I have not experience, but I'd like to ask you if you have any experience to implement such a policy across the development department, which seems to be, from my point of view, a little bit tricky in case of hashing, for example, that it's changing frequently, as you mentioned here also.
I have some experience, yeah. So the question is if I have experience of implementing this in development department. Yeah, the developers are big pain, yeah, but you can build it them. First of all, you can ask them to organize everything they want to be executable in some particular folder. Like you put some declaration like, dear developers, I know that you download everything, install everything. Please install, when you install something, please install into program files. Also, I understand that most of developers have administrative privileges. So I put this icon to their desktop and give them an instruction. If you want to install something, just double click this icon, install something into program files and continue working. If you have something portable, you have some folder like C portable, and this folder is already added to the policy. So please move everything you want to C portable. You can also have some centralized distribution share. Please put everything standardized to this folder. Also, when you compile your projects, please compile to the following folder, and it works. In some cases, I have installed virtual machines with unlimited rights and not limited with policy when they test their software, and then they decide like, okay, I want this software for ages, let it work for my real business, and then we will install the software in real machine outside the virtual machine. So if you can talk to them, if you can manage to give them something, it's okay. So most of developers, from my experience, are normal people. They listen to you and they are ready to collaborate, but you cannot just simply limit them and that's it. You need to organize their process, and this is going to be a good idea. Anyone else? Because we're going to go to the domain. Okay. And so, of course, in real environment, we do not configure everything manually. But for the domain, okay, I have some domain controller. Okay, let it be in a hard way. As I previously told you, first of all, I perform auditing of the system. Okay? So let me launch Group Policy Management Console. Maybe it is going to help you as well. This is my domain, test domain. Okay, you don't want to see the test domain. You want to see something real. Quite shortly. On the first level, I split by companies, and then I split companies to countries, and then I split countries to departments, and then departments to divisions, and so on. This allows me to implement policy step by step, and also delegate permissions, of course. So in this example, I have prepared few countries under computers, so I will be able to implement this step by step. But on the top level, I will create one new policy, and again, this is done from scratch. Yeah. So default domain, no any policy. In contrast, for real domain, there can be how many policies I have, like 10 policies maybe. This one. This depends on company. Say if company is big enough, you may split this policy by 2. If you have a lot of companies with delegated privileges, so I'm creating a separate policy to delegate control to another administrator. And I will delegate permission to this policy. First of all, so auditing. New policy which is SRP audit. And in this policy, I will configure everything. So first of all, I will enable this policy. This is the same like for app logger. It's not like I convince you using SRP, but for me, the framework in general is really working really good. That's why I choose SRP, and also we run professional systems, not enterprise for most companies. So I'm enabled creating this policy. And in this level, everything is unrestricted. And it will be unrestricted, definitely. Because the only thing I want is to audit. So additional rules, I don't need no additional rules. Just simply unrestrict everything. And few options in here. Enforcement, all software files, because I want to monitor all executables and DLLs. And all users, including administrators, yes. Designated file types, again, L and K is not an executable. Okay, we know a few exploits for L and K, yeah, and you can compile those exploits in Metasploit, yeah, but not this case. The policy is enabled, but it's not logging anything. So I will enable the logging. So in preferences on computer level, it's not computer level, Windows settings registry, I will enable new registry key, which will enable logging. So let me show you. In local machine, software, policies, Microsoft, Windows, Safer, code identifiers, I will select the value together with inheritance. So everyone will be able to write. Do you understand what I'm doing? Okay, very good. Well, and of course, this is just the beginning. Let me link this policy to a root of the domain and execute GP update on clients. Which client I will choose? Well, the same Windows 7 maybe, but I will reconfigure it to disable built-in policy, local policy. Yes. Now I will perform GT update. We would like you to see that lock is working. So I will navigate to C, Windows, logs. I see SRP folder is created and SRP lock is inside. And everything began with GT update. Okay. Now you see that I recognize each and every DLL. Yeah, this lock may be considerably big. Yes. The only issue is that, in particular, this policy does not split lock by dates or something. So I will need to hack it just a little bit to create separate locks for each date. To do this, I have designed some PowerShell script. Let me show you.
So you want this to be the local username? Or
Um,
split by name, username, and the date?
For this policy, there is no username. It's not applicable. Unfortunately, yeah. This is it for me. I cannot do anything about it. But I see the executable name, the parent process, and that it was understood. If something was disallowed, I will see in this log. You see, another issue with this policy is like exe files got locked to both logs, to this log and to event log. But DLLs are not put to event log. So consider you are launching Adobe, no, AutoCAD. Okay? The AutoCAD generates DLL and drops into temp. And when you enable this policy, I just want to share the experience, yeah? And when you enable this policy, Adobe, oh, not Adobe, AutoCAD stops working. It's installed into program files, but it stops working. What to do? I'm examining this log. And when I see something interesting in this log, some DLL log or file like something.tmp or something.aaa is blocked. This is executable, so I catch this executable and add like a path or like a hash or like certificate to my policy. But this is again, this is reactive. And so, when you enable policy and something stops working, this is reactive. That's why first I need to audit. Okay. But this log is not, again, is not split by some days or portions. So I will design some script and put the script. Now, this may seem some complex, but you want it in a hard way or not. So let me check what I have in my computer about it. Oh yes, this one. No, I don't like this. Okay, my variable, not build. Login depth, this is my variable. I have decided to split by days, like 30 days, or maybe more. And server log folder is the folder where to put all the logs in a central location. And how it works in real life, let me show you. On this server, I collect all the logs. And let me show you the drive. This folder is shared, and each and every PC in my company connects to this folder and puts something inside, like for instance, those log files. Or maybe like my PC. This is my PC. I haven't imported logs for a few days, but you see each and every day is like that. Let me open some log file, and you'll see that this is quite the same. Okay, so I collect all the logs in central location and split logs by day. Now I'm ready to turn back to this script. So I'm getting the current log file name as a variable, okay, and I'm calculating what's yesterday. And in case such a file exists with yesterday, okay, then I just simply ignore it. If it doesn't exist, I put all the context from a current log to yesterday's log. So if you see my PC, this is okay, some local folder, just for instance, again. This server is also under policy, and it has, this server is under temp SRT. You see how it works like? So when the date changes, I execute the script hourly. When date changes, date is changed, or computer boots up, it executes the script, checks for today, and checks for yesterday. If the log doesn't exist, it puts all the contents of existing log to that file and clears up the log. So let me show you once again. Copy item and then clear content. If you program just a little bit in PowerShell, you understand that this is very simple, possibly. And then I'm testing if server log folder exists. If it exists, I'm checking for my logs on that server folder. If log doesn't exist, I also update the server share. That's it. And I remove previous logs according to logging data. So I calculate if it's time to delete. This one and delete something. want this script to get executed every hour. So by using scheduled tasks, use scheduled task. I will create task as a log rotation. System. It's okay. Triggers. At startup. Okay. And one more trigger every hour. Yes. And what exactly to do? PowerShell exit dash c Windows SLP log rotation dot ps1. This is not going to work. Why? Any idea? Because script execution policy. Yes. So I will add something more. This policy, this policies, administrative templates, no, Windows components. PowerShell, Windows PowerShell. Yes. Script execution. Yes. Yes. Allow local scripts and no sign scripts. Now it's going to work. Let's check it on our client. GT update. I expect all files to be copied to Windows folder. Let me check. Yes, all the files are copied. Let me check if I have something in task scheduler. Not yet. Why not? Validate once again. Well, something went wrong as usually. So let me switch to the main controller and check this policy. Preferences, control panel, schedule tasks. Yes, SRP log. Oh no. System. Don't store the password. Yes. Why? Last name. It hasn't saved. Really? Serious. Well, it hasn't saved the settings. Okay. This Windows server is not patched. I have just haven't time to do this. So on schedule, daily, beginning 0000. Repeat 1 hour for 1 day. Yes, it's okay. And action. Yes. PowerShell all the detailed permissions. Okay, now let me execute the script on my client, which is Windows 7 this time. Run. I expect it to copy something. Oh no, yeah, because it still haven't received the server block folder value. Does it seem a little bit complex? No, not yet.
It's several folder available. It's just for the PowerShell script.
Yes, because the only group policy value is log file name. This is native. Oh, now you see that this PC has left something in this folder. Okay. Now I'm collecting reports. So this policy is linked to the root of the domain. So each and every PC will execute this policy quite quickly, and we will see the result in a few minutes. Say, and we will collect. How would you process those logs? It's a completely different story, because this is complex. Say, I'm receiving, for that site, I'm receiving logs from 800 machines, and I magnify again. So, 800 machines, and how would you analyze those logs? I have a self-written tool which performs everything for me. How would you do that? This is questionable, I don't know. But let me show you some example of querying some particular server or workstation. I still have few servers without this policy and analyzing logs. Now let me query this server for you to see what does it do. Microsoft with its SharePoint is crazy. Let's say like that. They've got 19 pages of what? You see what is happening. Okay, let me select some date for a few days, like of May. And query. Look at this. DLLs with random names, with random paths, random hashes, and no way to calculate something. That's why SharePoint is really interesting in this case. Okay, I can accept some risk and allow all the user of this, all the user profile, because this is system user. I don't know why it's stamped. You see, this is user, and he has installed something from the desktop on May 3rd. I see it. Okay, this is cool. I also can see if something got prohibited from running, say, for terminal servers in May is allowed. Let me query this. No. You serious? Okay, for all servers, maybe. I don't know. File servers. No. Can't believe it. Nothing got prohibited in May. Impossible. But this is self-written tool. Oh yes. Something yes. Yeah. The technical support of pharmaceutical database tried to install something from the desktop. But they know what whitelisting is, so then they disable the policy, install what they want, and the policy is enabled back again in some minutes. Okay, so auditing is really important because it allowed me to calculate and find out all the paths of everything. You don't see a lot because I have some exclusions configured, I don't want to see this in reports. For instance, this is our chemical system. And okay, this is our chemical system as well, another chemical analysis system. I have added those paths to policy, and now all my workstations, chemical analysis systems are working under this policy, and it's okay. I have just analyzed. So that was the part of auditing, because we still have a lot in configuring the restrictions. But you definitely want some little break of 10 minutes, yeah? Let it be like that. Maybe you have some question. Okay, maybe 10 minutes. So you ready? Yeah. Okay, let's continue. We have finished with auditing, and okay, maybe this is some complex thing. Maybe some additional software will solve this issue, this problem. But this is the way I work. I'm enabling excessive logging, verbose logging, and I take those logs, put to SQL, and then I analyze those logs. And this makes a really great experience. Previously, I have implemented whitelisting without this logging for some 2,000 PCs. It's not 200, yes, 2,000. And that was also a good experience. I just was a little bit reactive. A user calls, something not working, I'm connecting, watching what's in, and patching the policy. But in this scenario, when you know it, and this is really important, let me show you some example. If this is important, I will connect to this system and show you. Yeah, because I remember there was something interesting. And we'll show you what people do on chemical analysis computers. So we've got some departments like in Latvia, in this company, machinery. For this department, this is really important department because it performs chemical analysis, and the price is very high in this scenario. So let me search for something that is allowed in this machinery. Not in May, it was previous year. Let's finish the query. Well, even like that, I don't know what's that. I do not know what's that. What's in May? Okay, let's check for some other period of time. Because I want to show you something really special. And now I'm filtering as disallowed for policy that prevented the execution. I can also search for and show you something interesting. Just give me some meaning. You serious? Okay, not disallowed, unrestricted showing. And that was previous year. I will show you anyway. Because I have automated this process, I will run full-fashioned SRP, like with all the protections, with all the DLLs and administrators. For workstations, I have decided not to limit administrators, to make them easy to get used to this policy. And I will change this, I will make it more strict policy in some weeks. So this is workstation baseline. And let me edit this policy. In this scenario, I will enable strict policy, new, security level disallowed, yes. And I will, in additional rules, type in, okay, say default path, new path rules, C Windows, new path rules, C program files, and C program files x86. Okay, and this is baseline for all the company workstations. If you have some more software that you want to run on each and every PC, you can add. So my baseline is a little bit bigger, like 10 rules, because we do it like that. So what next? Next, I will deploy, these are neat file types, no LNK, not this time. And enforcement, let it be all users and all software files. Okay. Maybe I will add some certificates and so on. This is a completely different story. I will complement this policy with additional policies, like for some particular company, like this. Let me link this policy to computers into this GPO, this workstation baseline. This policy is executed for all countries. Save for Czech Republic, let me read new policy like SRP. No, I will copy from this. Copy, paste. This is much quicker. And this is gonna be SRP workstations CZAP. Link CZAP. Now see the advantages. First, I can make this policy more precise for Czech. Okay. Not to extend this policy to Russia or Latvia. It's okay. The second advantage is like I can delegate the administration of this policy. Like on the delegation page, I can add some CZAP administrator group, of course not some particular person, who will be able to update, edit this policy. This works for me, for many of our companies. And in case I need some troubleshooting, I can disable each separate policy to troubleshoot something. So now here you see an example of design, how many policies you need in company. Okay, at least one for auditing purposes, at least one as a baseline, say for workstations, one more baseline for servers, and some specific policies. That's why I have so many policies in my environment, like per country, per company, specific policy for that machinery that controls the manufacturing process, and specific policy for IT department, and also one more policy to test something in test department, because I have several virtual machines that exist in the domain and linked to some particular IT department test unit where I perform all my tests. So you see another example of a framework. You never test on your working computer or another one, or another user. And you create several virtual machines, reflect your company structure, and test here. So this is how it works. The next option is, okay, I understand that check the PowerShell is enabled, policy levels is okay. I will distribute more files. Actually, I am distributing already this PowerShell script and txt file in a single command. This PowerShell script reacts on events that appear in application log. So let me schedule this in that big policy of this. Oh yeah, I promised to show you something. Wow. 43 pages, of course. But again, while it's querying, you see that auditing is very useful. Okay, let's check. I want to show something different. Yeah. This is auditing policy. I will add one more scheduled task. Yeah, one more task. Here, scheduled tasks. Task is like event log monitor application whitelisting. The user is system as well. This is done to not to save user passwords. And you know that updated systems do not allow you saving passwords in this policy. Okay? It's okay in here. Apply. Now you don't want to apply. Triggers. And trigger is on an event. It's on an event. And when in application log with the source of software solution policies, let ID 865, when it appears, I need to fire an event like this, PowerShell, exe, and file C Windows SRE event PS1. Okay? Okay. But this script requires some configuration. So let me configure something in registry. To do this, I will check for my configuration. However, I will check for my configuration in real environment because this may be some complex thing. And in particular, I will configure the following settings. Mail server, to wish to send this email message. Mail to, say IT support at something, and mail sender domain to have sent from. Okay, mail server, mail sender domain, mail to. Okay, let me configure. So mail server, in my scenario, this is gonna be an IP address actually, not DNS name. What would the IP address or something of my mail server? Let me check. I see the DNS name. So this is my mail server, and one more variable is mail to, and this is IT support for support. Support at Windows and T.LE. Ready? Support, yes. It's okay. Okay, let's try it. The script is deployed if schedule and variables configured. Now let me violate the policy. First of all, GP update, of course. Now let's check if I have something. Yes. Of course, I'm not sure if it is going to work for the first time, first attempt. Okay. I have tried to execute something. I see the message. And now I expect the script is extracting this event from application log and sending an email message. So I will switch to my workstation with email messages and check if something new has arrived. Open. Okay, so this message has arrived. Do you like it? And this helps me in two scenarios. First scenario is when my policy is bad and I'm blocking some useful software, some important software. So I can react even quicker than user begins calling. Actually, yes, user just simply tries to launch an application. Possibly he will see the message. Possibly he will not see the message. Like for AutoCAD example, he will not see the message. Just simply he's not working. But I'm receiving the message immediately, and I can react. I can react quickly. And this situation is also described in that manual that I give away for IT support guys. If you receive the message, what you're going to do next? Read this, if this is something completely interesting. But yes. Let's say we began migration to Windows 10, and this migration looks like that. Microsoft are really clever guys. They have decided to drop something to temp, to a local folder and execute from local folders. Really clever guys. I'm not Microsoft employee, so I can criticize much of it. Okay, but this is stupid. I think this is really stupid. Okay, but I can react. I can add this file to a policy, and I have added this file as certificate because it's signed. Comparing to SharePoint, where even more clever guys are working here, so I have added to the policy. And,
in this case, then this will be special because this file will be updated very often. This file will
yeah.
file name. And how can you add that? Because it will be very variable. Hash will be variable. Path will be
In
variable.
this scenario, I have added certificate. But I also know that certificates are not eternal. They have their life cycle. So when the next accident, the next incident will occur, I will add another version to my policy. This is it. I understand, but same. And if you consider that you will work with this version of Windows for some life cycle of 10 years, possibly you need some maintenance, yes, but not as much. Let me show you how this script looks like. This script is also very simple. It reads 4 variables: mail server, mail sender domain, and it decides on this variable mail from. And then it reads multiple strings as mail to, because I want to send to global IP support and the local country IP support simultaneously this email. I read exclusions file. If I see something which I do not want to add to policy, and at the same time I don't want to react on this event, I'm adding this to, let me show you, I'm adding these to exclusions. And exclusions look like that. I love this one. I love this one. I like this one. Let's say those files are still blocked, yes, but not reported. This is what I want to do. So in this script, I'm getting the event with getWin event. Okay, I'm analyzing if this is not C Windows or C program file, because software restriction policy experiences some issues sometimes, and then if it's like that, you need to execute the update. Then I read exclusions, not exclusions, so skip mail is not true. Then I'm configuring the HTML with event details, and by using sendable message command, I'm just simply firing away this event. That's it. This is really simple. If you understand, just go over that. So now let me show you how happy I am in my company. I have tried to mark few incidents with a flag. Now where is this flag? Oh no, not this folder. This one, Friday. The user has tried to execute EU. Well, from 7-zip. Okay, so she wanted to give someone else an access to our PCs. This is an accident, incident, not accident, incident. Well, what else? This one was really serious incident. This is a virus which is dropped from Word macro to that folder. And we have had a lot of such incidents. But why it's serious? Because of him who has administrative privileges for our company. That's why. He told me that he was copying some backup from user to home folder and accidentally just entered or clicked this file, Word document. I don't know if this is true, but I just know that that infection got stopped. That was a real virus, and he's an administrator. And that was a few days ago, okay? And to show you next, say, in the same day, something interesting EDM, JavaScript, from 7-zip temp folder, okay? And say a few days ago, just previous day, it's not on the desktop, it's not on not USB stick. So I can see that this is a virus. The user hasn't called like something important. So this is a virus. And I can show you for almost each and every day, like this one, for the same day, this one. So I'd say we stop viruses with this GPO almost every day. And antiviruses do not react to that, of course. And infection ratio of this file on the moment of appearance is like 1 of 56, yeah? How much antivirus do you have on virus total at the moment? 50 something. You know what virus total is, yeah? So when I catch this gift from a user, I immediately analyze against the wires total, and the detection ratio is very low. In a week, it's still very low. But the policy got stopped because the policy does not try to analyze this. This file still present on disk. Yeah, it presents because SRP is not an antivirus, but it doesn't permit, it doesn't allow to launch this file. So I'm happy. I'm happy every day. Just a few days before, this same user, the same file. So he has decided that one time is not enough. Yeah, it's important file. Something like this. It's not a virus, but this software needs an approval from manager. And if someone wants to install Skype, it's done in a completely different manner. We add the, I do it like that. In Active Directory, I have group for this, groups, and it's gonna be application distribution. And when you add the PC, this group, the Skype is deployed with SUS. Because I have some local publishing component, but not this way. Let me show you how happy I am with the same day. If you're again, a completely different person, and it's from download. So it was done not with that. And then the same user. Sorry, if you want Chrome, it's the same technology. You need to write to your manager and request, and then I will add you to group. And we're not preventing user from working. We're just preventing malware. One more time. One more time. I want to show you some real wires again. Google Chrome again. Some unknown software again. And yeah, this one. Another user and wires again. And that was also from the Word macro. And just a few days, you see, just a few days. Let me show JavaScript and that's it. And you're done. Welcome. And yeah, I have discovered who was that. I have discovered the username. Yes. And then oh, I haven't seen this one. But I know this user. It's almost impossible to talk to her. She doesn't really understand what link is, what website is, what software is. She is like very straight. I didn't say stupid, she's very straight. Outrun XZ. Okay, it's not that. Okay, show me just JavaScript and that's it. Okay, I will search it. Yes, that was a virus. And she decided that 2 times are not enough. You need to execute 3 times in a row for different days, like this day, this day. So you see an example of how the policy works, how it works. It's a little bit challenging sometimes, but first you need to analyze what's happening in your network. what executables are running, what legal executables are running. Then you create some baseline policy and additional complementary policies, because all the policies are summed, all the paths are summed. And then you implement step by step, department by department. I am enabling this policy department by department. That's it. Sometimes I advertise this like during the next week some additional security measures will be taken. Sometimes I only drop a line to drop some message to IT support guys that this week this department, that's it. And they have manual, they know how to react, they know what registry files are, how to enable, disable, they know how to read the verbose log, and that's it. And then we are happy. We are happy with the security. I don't remember what else was planned for this for today. I have presented you the framework. Let me show this one. Auditing, rotation, collecting, analyzing, configuring policies, event notification, testing. Well, you can download PowerShell scripts if you want, or send me your questions to an email. But basically that's it. I don't know if you're happy with this. My recommendation is to try it at least, because my personal perception is like all the computers with no exclusion must be configured with this policy. It's free, it's effective, and you will be happy about ransomware. I'm happy reading different forums, like when people scream and ask for help, having got it encrypted, and so on. Well, maybe. Okay? Questions, please.
In short, can you explain the differences between SRP and AppLocker?
Yes. First, SRP works under system user context. AppLocker under system, not user. So it's a little bit more secure. For AppLocker, you must consider how do you disable the policy when you want to install something. Because I know how to disable the registry, but this takes 120 seconds. You double click this file and wait for 2 minutes. Maybe you assign some person to be an installer, trusted installer. Yeah, this is a good idea. Because say SRP has a user configuration part. And you can say like for this trusted installer, everything from C drive is allowed. Not from E, not from D, from C drive. Also, AppLocker has more options, more filtering options, not like simply certificate and that's it, but with different small configurations like certificate, which is valid from this to this, which has the following purpose, with the exception of this. So AppLocker is more configurable, but I think the big issue is that AppLocker only wants an enterprise version. This is a big issue. And Microsoft wants it to be secure, but at the same time, this important security measure, they don't offer for professional. Not even talking about home. Home completely is not a system. That's, say, biggest difference. Anything else?
Do you have it configured also on servers?
Of course, definitely. And again, I consider 100% of servers must be configured. And you see, say for instance, just for instance, let me connect to some server. This is very important server for us. It performs VM backups and also is hypervisor for several virtual machines, which are also protected with this SRP. And also its monitoring station and everything. Come on. Do it quickly. What you see? those icons on the desktop means I work with SOP on this server as well.
So the same set of policies.
I'd say for all my servers, for up to 100 servers, I would establish one single policy. Because say, I have about 17 auto maybe currently, but let me show you the policy baseline for those servers. It's very small. Servers baseline. I will show you just that. I see that something is outdated already, but in general, that's it for tens of servers.
The options are unrestricted or restricted.
Yeah, on two options. And I'm trying to avoid restricted because say it's like NTFS permissions. If you use restrictions, there's something is wrong with you. With you, yeah. Something you probably misunderstand permissions if you use restrictions. This is one the same. You probably misunderstand disallowed mode if you additionally restrict something.
There could be something like
Like
warning.
warning. This is a good question, but not in this implementation. Sorry. I can do it like, actually, you can just simply turn on auditing and then parse this log and something appears. You fire in the map.
Once again, how do you manage patch management? I know I remember you talked about it at the beginning.
Yeah.
So disable the policies, roll the patches.
When you update from System Center, the system user account is not covered by the policy in the system. So it can update everything you want. You can also issue one more policy for your trusted installer, which will install everything for System Center user account, for instance. But it installs on your system and it works. For my case, in this company I don't have System Center, but I have SUS local publishing, which also works under system user account, and it's not covered by the policy. So if you want to install something manually, you disable the policy and it's okay. And automatically, it's not a problem. It just simply works.
Well, yeah, but you have to change the hashes.
What change?
The hashes.
Hashes. I don't need to change hashes because you see how many hashes I have, say, in this policy. 5 hashes. And this software is very specific and it doesn't change. This software also is very specific. That was for electronic passes and it doesn't change. Even if I update, say, once in 3 years, okay, it's really easy to calculate and add this hash. But you see how old is this hash, and not hash, but DLL files or files. So, and this is gonna work for ages, because for some measurement systems we still have Windows 98, which are not replaceable.
So that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because you don't change it very often, so you forgot about this.
Well, time to time you need to review your rules and recommend. Now I understand this server was decommissioned, so now I can remove this rule. Also, when I decommission all the XP machines, I will reduce rules by some 10 entries in global policy for workstations. So it's not a big issue. when you install something, you just need to expect this. If you expect this, this is the part of framework. Your framework is like, when you install something, check if it works. If it is not working, check the SRP log. If you see disallowed, take this file and analyze if you can take certificate, hash, or path. That's it. And usually it's performed in a few minutes, just a few minutes. So my experience, which I want to share with you, it's not as painful. I'm alone, can manage thousands of machines easily. And when you can delegate authority to some regional administrators to teach them and show them how to do this, this is really easy. You just need to have some good framework. I consider my framework is really good because first of all I analyze and then I put the reaction on events. So our emails are really cool. I love them. And also the manuals for IT support guys and that's it.
May I ask you, is this your full-time job or for the 800 computers or how many hours a day?
You see, currently I'm in Prague for 10 days. And this is very typical each month. Because I'm giving courses in many cities. This is okay, someone needs to react, but I have some serious assistant who works with SRP for 10 years already. And he's able to manage this in case something. It's like when you caught cold and cannot go to work, what are you going to do? This is the same. You need some backup. Yeah, 800 in this case, I'm well. Just as main administrator. But I have 5 IT support guys who manage all iPads, printers, routers, because we have 100 routers and 100 switches. So it's typical. Okay. Any good question? Okay. As you wish. Just in general, I wanted to tell you that this is easy. 10 years ago, I was convincing people to not to work with administrative privileges. And this took some 10 years to finish this process. Now it's normal for us to work as a normal user. Now I'm convincing people to work with application whitelisting. And I say I have a lot of students who have implemented and they're happy, really happy. So even in Riga, it's about tens, thousands of machines maybe, in different companies, of course, and different administrators that are protected with this policy. So I dream to implement this for 100,000 machines, but I think it's possible with SQL. It's really possible. So how many PCs you have? 1,000. Not as much. Really, this is not as much. When you have 1,000, you dream of 10,000, or even more.
It's not about the numbers, it's about the differences between
users.
of
course. And this scenario, we have big differences, and each and every machinery is specific. Yeah, so.
Did you get the framework described somewhere so that we can like take a look at it?
This is a good question. Say, I got something in Russian, but I promise, I promise to update it to English and you will translate the chat. Okay? I promise, again, I will do it. I will do it. So I will finish the first part. Where I will describe. There is the description of auditing and non-technical issues, how to prepare yourself to, how to plan to implement something, an auditing system. And I will describe translate immediately. When I will finish this, it takes like, I'd say, currently some 25 pages. I expect it to take up to 200 pages. But I promise I will finish it, okay? And we'll translate. Someone in near future.
So the origin is Russian, so maybe machine translation will work.
Yes, you can try it. You can try it. So you can try it. More questions?
Yes. In software restriction policy, you have written some path. It means user having access to this path to send, put there some, let's say, malware.
This is really good question. Yes. How to circumvent the policy? Sometimes it's very easy. Say you saw in policy that I have added program files x86 on 32-bit systems. This path doesn't exist by default. So also by default, users are permitted to write into C drive, so they can simply create this folder, program files x86, and fill it with some viruses manually. Yeah, it's even easier. Let me show you. Let me show you this unfortunate thing. Because I was communicating with other MVPs about this question, and let me show you how it works on my PC, which is protected. PowerShell. What I have typed. Now, tell me, what's this? Download file, drop it to Windows 10. Yes. And then, give it a try. You see? How easily? Because when I'm adding C Windows folder, I understand that there are subfolders where users can write, and even everyone can write. This is like that, but this is not going to be an accident. This is key point. That's why, again, this is not security boundary, but it's not an accident. That's why I still collect logs from all machines to find something interesting, like Diablo. Again, because when I have analyzed, I have discovered that they are running Diablo. Oh, what's that? And it was funny.
And say the rule we must use for each path or each rule which is with the user rights.
I'd say, being a hacker, I can bring this policy from domain controller, from offline, not offline, but from group policy history on local PC. I can read the registry. I can analyze it and drop the executable to the folder which is permitted. Because sometimes you permit some business application folder where users can write. It's possible. But say I also understand that in case I'm exploiting some vulnerability, I can perform direct DLL injection into memory, and the SOP will top it anyway. And again, I understand that this is security boundary, and still I consider this feature number one because it's very effective against accidents. Yeah, I know these limitations, I know. And trying to pursue each and every hole, each and every vulnerability in policy is impossible. In this current situation, it's impossible, just simply impossible. No questions?
I have one.
Come on.
What about mail from each user of your company to some SIM server?
I'm doing it. So what's the question? You see see my PC. It has this script and C Windows SRP event PowerShell script, and in registry I have this registry key to mail to. But what's the question?
Question is, could allow communicate to SMTP server from each computer without elevation rights or without right and user alone?
I don't
is there
care.
a possibility to email to everywhere?
It's not as easy. I have installed the separate SMTP server just for notifications and configured it to only allow single domain. And it will use the smart host for the single domain, and everything else is prohibited. And we have configured, say for instance, all our printers. When user comes to a printer, it asks for DAP from Active Directory, all the user accounts, email addresses. So user selects and sends. But also this printer is targeted to that monitoring SMTP server. And when I click send, or maybe you have typed an address manually, it will only allow some particular domain. That's it. No more options. Okay. I thought you've got a good question about framework description, but you try hard. So let me present you some gift. This is Latvian candies with some alcoholic content.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I got only one gift.
You can share.
You can share if you want, yeah. But it's done for today, so if you have some questions about this framework or experience, I have shared all my experience. I'm just telling you that this is easy and you must do it. That's it. It's not that complex. Of course, if you understand all the documentation, I will translate. So,
So what exactly are you doing to Prague?
ethical hacking course,
Yeah, in Budapest?
New Horizons. Because Gopas say they want it in Czech. I'm not ready yet. Well, I've started to learn myself because it's interesting and it's pretty close to Russian. Close. It's even better. Like, let's say, I cannot recognize Czech people from Russians. You're one and the same. It's easy to recognize Romans, like some other Italians, but not Czech and Russians. We're the same. And all the same people by nature and everything. So I feel like home. Here it's really the same people. Okay, but time for real, yeah. If you want, if anyone wants to have something about this, okay. If not,
Can I ask you, do you have any incident, security incident last time that broke your policy?
I have not registered any during the last years, no. Or yes? Yes, maybe yes. Let me rephrase the question. If I have had some incident caused by my policy, am I correct, no? Yes, my policy caused several incidents, but the question was how quick was my reaction. Like, they prepare for chemical analyzer, just for instance, and they click this program and it's not launching. It gives like performance illegal alteration what's the big deal? I'm moving the PC to the top of hierarchy of Active Directory and it works. I'm moving back again and it doesn't. I understand there's something in policies inside. So I'm disabling each and every policy step by step, and then I'm discovering that SRP policy, when you put a lot of hashes inside, may cause the existence of the policy itself, may cause software failures of some completely unrelated software. Just simply because you have some particular hash, which is not, I do not know which one. I have requested Microsoft support incident for that, and we'll analyze it. Currently, I'm requesting 2 incidents. First incident is that in Windows 10, they are not calculating certificates for DLLs anymore. You can add the DLL by certificate, but it doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work. It's like, you see, like uploader policies in Windows 8 Professional. You can configure, but it doesn't work, just simply. So now I'm requesting this incident for Microsoft about certificates, and another will be like what to do if some particular hash is causing some another software failures just simply because the hash exists in policy. It's completely unrelated. But again, the question is how quickly you are able to react. If you can understand the core issue, it's okay. So, but it's not the reason to not to use the policy. Yeah.
Well, I want to know the limitation of this technology.
A limitation, you can circumvent the policy. Sometimes you cannot handle it effectively when the same shape point drops random DLLs. It's completely against all policies. And yes, sometimes this policy causes some errors. Like you saw in my script that I'm analyzing C Windows C program files. This is because the policy is not completely loaded. Say, when you wake your computer up from the sleep, the policy sometimes doesn't work. And this is some Microsoft error, somewhere in the policies. But then my script catches this event and executes GP update, and then it works. So users will not notice this. So I can handle this, and this is good. And I'd say no more incidents like that. It wasn't like something really got stopped, or yeah, we were close to that. Like chemists decided to perform analysis. Like analysis takes say 8 hours. And they decided to begin 8 hours prior to report, not allowing any time for something to troubleshoot. It doesn't work. Okay, it's not working. It doesn't work. It's not working. They do not call IT support guys. It just simply doesn't work. I have no notifications because it's not related to SAP, like directly. And they wait until the morning to slowly come to IT and to slowly report that, you know, something is not working for that PC. Yeah, we need to give the report at 12. Yeah, yeah, but computers is not working. So the biggest issue is also staff, normal users, which must report to you if something isn't working. That's it. No more recommendations. Do you understand the idea of whitelisting? Do you understand why we need to log? Do you understand why we need to forward events? Okay, that's easy. Well, it's done. Time to go home.